I'm Jo Sinnott, and this is my Wild Camping Challenge. Join me as I travel from Ireland to Portugal, exploring places, meeting people, and testing my wits as I bypass overcrowded campsites and pitch my tent in some of the most beautiful parts of the continent. I love travel, adventure, and the great outdoors. Well, this is it, the start of an epic journey for me. Nearly 3,000 miles from Ireland to Portugal with everything I need strapped to my beautiful bike. I've got some basic camping equipment, some carefully chosen clothes, a good map and a sense of adventure which I hope will see me through the more testing parts of my journey. And I'm hoping that by travelling in such a self-contained way I'll be able to get right off the beaten track and discover parts of Europe that you just can't find in the guidebooks. OK, time to hit the open road in search of my first ever wild camping spot. I'm heading towards the Beara Peninsula on the west coast, where I'm told the landscapes are spectacular. It's a fantastic ride, passing through towns like Kinsale, once a small fishing village, and now the capital of the Irish Riviera. This is what the best motorbike journeys are all about. A spell of warm weather, timeless country roads, and an adventure ahead. The further west I go, the wilder the landscapes become. It's no surprise that these regions have inspired artists and writers for centuries. So I think it's only right that a poet should be the first person I meet on my journey through Ireland. John O'Leary draws his inspiration from this tremendous landscape. He's going to show me his favourite bit of coastline and hopefully give me some ideas for a wild camping location.
Oh, so here you go, Jo. This is what we came to see. An image, if you like, of the terrible power of the sea, the immensi tremor oceani. There are some days when you could stand here and the waves in a storm would be coming in at eye level. I've seen 50 or even 60-foot waves kind of breaking here.
Goodness me.
They say it takes a wave 3 days to cross the Atlantic from Newfoundland, gathering power as it goes. I have a poem which describes the life of the wave in its 3 days.
Well, this seems the best place to hear it.
The first day, there were still birds on my surface. A puffin made 2 rainbows diving through the wall of me. The second day, I was aggrandized, tall as a warrior. A storm petrel slept in my wind shadow. On the third day, breaking in a blizzard of gulls, I am the world before colour. I am a form of the wind. I am your heart's thunder and your broken mind.
Written by yourself?
Yes, indeed.
And inspired by this very spot?
This place would be in my mind always.
I get the feeling John thinks I should sleep right here. It's certainly dramatic, and as a wild camping spot, I'm sure it takes some beating. But this is my first night ever. I need to break myself in gently. Something tells me you may have been inspired to sleep outside yourself now and again.
Oh, many times, Jo, many
Really?
times, with the stars for my roof.
Sort of feel like I need a little window in my tent so I can look up and see them.
Oh, maybe you should just ditch the tent.
Ah, now there's a thought. The stars for my roof does sound rather magical, but ditch the tent. First I need to see if I can make it through a night. Having assessed my level of wild camping experience, that's 0, John moves on to plan B. He's arranged for me to meet a couple of friends of his, Sue and Paddy, one of whom owns a writer's retreat and may have the solution to my very first wild camping dilemma. McCarthy's Bar features on the cover of Pete McCarthy's novel of the same name. It's half bar, half grocer's shop, the perfect local. But what is it that really draws the Irish to the pub? Is it the drinking or the chance to tell a few tall tales?
Oh, it's about the chat more than the drinking. The drink is part of it, but I mean, it really is about chat, meeting people, you know, getting to know people, good conversation.
In the country places, people used to live very lonely lives. I mean, they wouldn't talk to a human person all day. They'd talk to lots of cows and sheep, and then in the evening they'd come and have commerce with another human soul.
You know, don't forget the community of them. The local community is of great importance. Everyone knows everyone, and there's great support in the community here as well, which is great, I think.
So do you write very different prose and poetry in the winter as you do in the summer?
Well, here's the thing, is that it's more a case where I don't write in the summer, because in the summer you have kind of almost 20 hours of daylight on Midsummer's Day, and you're out and the light is in your head the whole time, and you're storing up images. In the winter, on the other hand, you have maybe only 5 hours of light. You have a long, dark night, and you can stick your feet in the fire and listen to the rain on the roof, and concentrate. It concentrates, and you feed on this bank of images.
Is this the best part of Ireland?
Yeah.
This is the best part of the world.
Definitely.
Is it now?
Yes, it is,
Yeah, absolutely. And I say that as someone who didn't grow up here. I moved here in '82, and I honestly think it is the most beautiful place in the world.
One of my favorite sayings, a writer came from Dublin down to visit the retreat and stay there for a time. And when a taxi driver in Dublin asked her where she was going, she said, "I'm going to Beara to a writer's retreat." And he said, "Beara, the place that God created for himself and at the last minute gave to us."
Well, I'll have plenty of time to ponder on that later, in my tent. But first, down to business. Have you got anywhere I can camp on your land?
I certainly do. I have 5 acres, and it's a beautiful, quiet spot. You won't be bothered at all. The only thing that might get in your way is the otter when he's out fishing.
Oh, right. In the night? In the middle of the
You
night?
don't get in his way, and he won't get in yours.
Yeah, right.
Does he come onto the bank? He'll come up onto the bank?
No,
will he?
where I'm on the island, his little burrow is just across the river from the island, so you'll be aware that he's there, but I don't think he'll bother.
So far, the Irish are every bit as friendly as I expected, and Sue's offered me the perfect wild camping spot on the land below her retreat, where she sends her writers to get inspiration. Tonight, this watery paradise is to be my bedroom. My only roommate, an otter, if he shows his face, of course. Well, how's that for the perfect wild camping spot for my first night? It's pretty secluded and sheltered, which makes me feel sort of safe, to be honest, on my first night ever. And I love camping, but this has to be the ultimate in my experience. No amenities, but hopefully I have everything I need here with me. Decent compact tent, nice warm sleeping bag, a very compact little cooker and some pans, and a roll-up mat in my bag. Anything I don't have, I can't have, so there we go. Just have to make the most of it. It's beautiful. I can't say more than that. And much as I'm slightly daunted about this evening, I'm not half as daunted as I am excited. So there you go. The rules of wild camping are to arrive late, leave early, and crucially, to leave no trace of you ever having been there. That means camping out of sight of any dwellings, no open fires, and taking absolutely everything with you when you leave. If, like me, you have the landowner's permission, then rules may be more relaxed. But being respectful and environmentally friendly is the name of the game. Time now for my first meal. Thanks to Sue, I have a hearty dinner that just needs heating up. Now, it might not look much, but when you have one pan and a tiny stove, you do what you can do. Who knows, maybe I'll be cooking haute cuisine by the end of this trip. But for now, to be eating outdoors in this incredible location is enough for me. It's still not dark, so time to sample some of the local nightlife, which when you're on my budget means anything free. Luckily in this part of the world, the best things are free. Well, I've had such a great time here in Beara, and in here is the local hall with the kids outside. Hi, kids. Hi. And apparently inside is a bit of Irish fun and games. See you in there. Well, Sue's heard about my Irish roots, and apparently this gives me licence to jig. There's only one way this will end up. I'm not the best. In fact, I'm not even the tallest. But I am the oldest, that's for sure.
Good morning, Joe.
Oh, hi. Hang on 1 second. Good morning.
Good morning. I brought you a cup of tea.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Oh, that's a nice treat.
How did you spend the night?
Well, I didn't sleep very much, but I had a really nice time.
Did the otter come and visit?
No.
He
And I
must
would have known because I was awake. But it's fantastic.
I'd love you to come up and meet Bernard Donahue. He's a court poet. He's fabulous, and he's going to read a couple of poems, I think, if you'd like to come up. He's here to visit.
Lovely.
Great.
I'd love that. Let me just freshen up a little
Okay.
bit.
We'll see you up there.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
cool, thanks. There's Irish hospitality for you, or perhaps American. Either way, a cup of tea delivered to my door, or tent, is a luxury I can't refuse, and one that won't happen often, I imagine. Well, my trip feels really real now. First night wild camping, and it was beautiful. Sound of the waterfall behind sort of mars that eerie silence that I imagined I would have out in the middle of nowhere like this. And I've got plenty more to come. I'm sure they'll all be very different. And Sue's told me there's a poet up at her writer's retreat who's going to read me a poem about morning in Beara, so it couldn't be more apt. So I'm going to change my clothes, freshen up ever so slightly, feel I need it, and head up to the house.
Morning in Beara for Canon McKean. Towns, small islands, domus and rus is the rule in this last web.
Apparently, there's a poet in everyone. Here in Ireland, that would seem to be true.
Glassless frames overlook the sound where the gannet cuts out and falls. New men came once, unwrapping bales of something on the beach. They glazed the windows and repaired the thatch, starting a honey farm in 9 rows of cannabis. But the council broke the windows, and in the rafters hung vapona for the bees. Back in the status quo, the old woman takes up her ageless beat again. A mile or so out, you can listen to the shingles scramble as the escaping pebbles lose their footing.
Thank you so much. That was absolutely beautiful. What within this particular poem is personal to you?
There was this idea of a place at the end where no one comes on purpose. You know, the notion is the rather kind of, I suppose, slightly mannered beginning of the poem. So the idea of home and countryside all somewhat being kind of mixed in this this place that is kind of off the beaten track and somewhere else altogether.
And people stumble across it.
Yeah, exactly, absolutely.
Home and countryside mixed together. Bernard's words have struck a chord with me, and I leave Beara with a warm glow, happy in the knowledge that I too will be making these wild landscapes my home, for a short while at least.